That's a lot of zeros. How do you deliver on that? You will see I do deliver on that and more. Let's start with the $3 trillion. If you were to have brought Apple an idea that saved them from bankruptcy, and they are worth $3 trillion on the stock market today, yes, I'll recap how that was done in this video. But there's more. If you were to focus on the money, that would be missing the point. It hasn't been so rare to have a creative idea worth a lot of money, but it has been a lot more rare to have one that was considered a masterpiece. I have links to full description of the 4 masterpieces, including the Apple bankruptcy video, in the description. There's a lot to cover in this summary, so let's get going. Having 4 creative masterpieces, there must be something to teach here. First of all, I do a lot of creative work constantly, and having a masterpiece is really rare to have come along. I'm going to give a summary to the 4, but to give some form to the summary, I'm going to start with the differences and then move on to the commonalities. I'll also point to some videos where I've already started to teach some of the principles. The phases of the project could not have been more different. Some were up front during the creative strategy, and some were pasted on during the building of the design. The amount of work was different as well. They all took extra effort, but some felt like sprints where others were marathons. One common point was seeing something that normally would have been missed. There was always some luck of being at the right place at the right time. But I think these 2 ideas are paired together. I believe that opportunity comes around to us more often than we think, but we don't recognize it or know how to seize it. With my current group of students, I put them in contact with some very successful people and encourage them to relate to them in a meaningful way. I describe one way to relate in a video called How to Find a Mentoring Angel, how to behave, and what to say that sometimes leads them to share a key bit of knowledge. Whereas we normally blow our chance by making some silly conversation. I plan to cover a different angle in an upcoming series on presentation, in a video called Know Your Audience's Interests. This principle is the essence of the brand power idea brought to Apple. I plan to cover yet a different angle in an upcoming table topics series, in a video called How to Relate to an Executive in a Meaningful and Natural Way, which was a table topic requested by my students. But here's where I'm going to recap the most important principle from the Creative Masterpieces series, and which I reshared as a solution in the video called Reaction: Why Society Hates Creative People and What to Do About It. Here it is. When you want to see something that would normally have been missed, look at an event and ask yourself, what is the tipping point? In other words, what is the thing that one person could do that would make the biggest difference? And then ask yourself, why don't I be that person? This is the essence of seeing what others would miss, and there may be more than one opportunity presenting itself. Another common part in creative masterpieces was having uncommon knowledge. This is a general term where you possess something that others do not. I cover some aspects in 2 videos from the Child Development series. One called Discover Your Own Brilliance, where nearly everyone is born with something special. If you don't know yours already, your friends and family have probably been telling you. Then the challenge is to know how to use it. And another video from the same Child Development series called So You Know Your Own Strengths and Weaknesses. Now what? This is where you craft your own skills, where you select how you best spend your time. I will touch on this concept again in an upcoming series called Make Creative Masterpieces. The video will be called How Does It Feel to Create a Masterpiece?, which will have a part discussing how Da Vinci was able to gather so many skills he did by the age 30. It essentially points back to applying all the concepts in the series Child Development, but applying them very well. Besides developing skills, uncommon knowledge can come by invention discovery. The 2 easiest ways of discovery are to understand history and reapply it, or to get involved in an emerging field where all is open to new discovery. You know, new problems require new solutions. The one hardest way of discovery is to be involved with a field that has been studied for years already. However, you can still find inventions by looking a little deeper. We will cover this hardest way in the upcoming series Make Creative Masterpieces, in a video called Invention Step-by-Step, where we start by analyzing how you are inventing already when you make your signature move on a dance floor, and then apply it to something more meaningful. Creative marketing, that goes beyond customer needs was another common aspect of creative masterpieces. Creative marketing is dangerous stuff, and it can be career-ending if it goes wrong. I touch on it in 2 videos from the Creative Masterpieces series. One video is called How to Make a Great Amazon Product from Engineering Management, and the other one is called How to Make a Great Poo Product from Engineering. They say how, and give some warnings and guidance on how to do it safely. I don't know when I'm going to go back into this topic again, because it's such dangerous stuff. Essentially, you go beyond traditional marketing. Traditional marketing is where you find a customer need and you fill that customer need. Creative marketing is where you go beyond the customer need. It is sometimes described as emotional intelligence, knowing what the customer wants before they know. Also doing the impossible. This happens in front of you all the time, so you can observe and study it. For example, order a favorite dish at a restaurant and then try to think about why you like it so much. As a customer, you wouldn't be able to go into another restaurant, describe what you need, and expect to get the same dish. I'll give one common concept that I haven't spoken about before, that masterpieces were enabled by having others estimate your abilities properly high. This was the case in all 4 examples in the Creative Masterpieces series. I don't mean them overestimating your abilities. That would be bad. There's a period of time early on where others were able to assess and estimate what you were able to do. Apple's immediate success with a brand power idea probably gave them confidence to spend the next years at Apple with a cell phone as a point of sales device idea, to sell music through iTunes and apps through the App Store. More on the history of Apple using those ideas is covered in a video called Did We Invent the iPhone? Now It Makes Sense. I covered this concept of others estimating your abilities properly high in the video called Reaction: Why Society Hates Creative People and What to Do About It. Look for the part of the video where I discuss Da Vinci's resume. One key part of Da Vinci's resume was a part where he offers to demonstrate his abilities. Another key part was sending along a beautifully sculpted musical instrument with his resume. In all my cases, they were supported by demonstrated abilities, not just words on a resume. Okay, that sums up the past. Hope that was good, as well as fun. Now where are we going in the future? In trying to teach how to make creative masterpieces, this would be the Make Creative Masterpieces series. I'm carrying on some live conversations on what topics would be the most helpful. The first 3 on my list from these conversations are these. Number 1, Invention Step-by-Step. This is where I walk through the process of inventing something in the most difficult arena. I choose a subject that has already been studied for many years, musical harmony, and come up with a new invention that has some value by looking a little deeper. I make it easier by selecting a particular genre so it has a better chance of being an invention, rather than all of music, where it's likely to have been thought of during some period of history and lost to modern music. Music is good because I'm pretty free to share detailed examples. Business examples need to be handled with more care. Number 2 video in the Make Creative Masterpieces series is How Does It Feel to Make a Creative Masterpiece? In this video, you may enjoy finding out that the process does not feel particularly hard. I explain some common issues where creative masterpieces may not get recognized during your lifetime, and how Da Vinci was able to gather so many skills that he did by age 30, as well as other topics. The third video that I have planned for the Make Creative Masterpieces series is Can Creative Masterpieces Really Be Taught? Where I give some thoughts on the challenges and successes based on my own experiences and histories. Then I cover the plan and organization of the videos up to this point and going forward, where they might fit into your own journey learning how to create a masterpiece, or how they have been used to have a more successful and satisfying career. The plan for the future is for me to get live feedback from my students and others, see how much they are understanding how, possibly include some success stories, and adding additional topics to the Make Creative Masterpieces series that would help the most. I should be able to keep up with posting 1 video per week if I keep getting topics to add. Also, I may react to some excellent videos that relate to the subject, and I have found a few. And weekly, there may or may not be a second video on a random subject that people have been asking my opinion on. One thought is a series of videos on presentation, which may relate quite well to creativity, as presentation skills can boost your creative success.